Thanks for checking into this week's edition of Michigan Chronicle News Now. I'm digital anchor Andre Ash. Time to get a check of some of the top stories we've been working on this week on our website at michiganchronicle.com. Well, April is the annual celebration of National Cannabis Awareness Month, and big things are happening in the city of Detroit to mark the occasion with a timely approval of a new ordinance. The city of Detroit and its city council voted this week in an 8-1 approval of the adult use marijuana licensing ordinance. Social equity components tied to the ordinance will yield favorable results for Detroit residents interested in entering this high-profit industry. Well, the Motor City Contractor Fund has now launched with a new $10 million pilot program. Take a look here at this. The Rocket Community Fund, along with the Community Investment Fund, Invest Detroit and Barton Marlowe Builders announced the program, which will remove barriers for and provide 20 Detroit-based contractors with services to grow their capacity and succeed in the increasingly competitive local marketplace. The $10 million pilot program will provide lending, technology, and business advisory services and community-based partnerships to meet the cash flow and business needs of participating contractors. Well, Detroit Tigers opening day is upon us, and we got a chance to get a little bit of a preview of what Tigers fans can expect this season at Comerica Park. Take a look.
This season is going to be like no other.
Meet Ellen Hill-Zaray, Vice President of Marketing for the Detroit Tigers. She says 40,000 fans are expected to fill the seats on opening day, and during a recent media preview event, she reveals what's new this season at the ballpark.
We're going to retire the number of Lou Whitaker. We're going to honor Cecil Fielder during Negro Leagues weekend. We're back with things like Fiesta Tigres and Pink Out the Park and all the really great, exciting events that really get Tigers fans passionate and excited about coming to Comerica Park. And I would say, what's old is new because we haven't done it in a while.
From baseball fan merchandise to the return of the epic fireworks display in the sky. And let's not forget about, the food. From the Motor City Chicken to the notorious PIG, there's a lot to feast your taste buds on this season.
Have you tried the food here yet so far?
Totally honest with you, I've been eating a lot of Little Caesars pizza. But everything looks so delicious, and there's something over there that's like macaroni and cheese or something that I'm heading over there to taste.
So it's past time to get ready as the Tigers return to Comerica Park for opening day Friday. All right, getting to the paper. Time to check out some of the top stories we're working on in this week's edition of Michigan Chronicle News Now. And here to talk with us more about that is our staff writer, Sherry Collade. Sherry, a lot of good stuff in this week's edition that you're working on, right?
Yes, too many to count, although I'm keeping track.
Too many, who's counting, who's keeping track. But one of the stories you're working on in our Roots A1 edition this week is about Judge Milhouse, her legacy, but also the history she's making, but also the history she's leaving behind, including her own father who made history in his own right. Talk to us a little bit about this one.
Absolutely. It's such a beautiful story. So Judge Donna Robinson Milhouse, she's a 36th District Court judge, and her father, Donald Robinson, he was Detroit's first Black fire marshal, the first Black person to hold such a position in a major city like Detroit. And he passed recently at 89 years old. But his story, the legacy that he left for his daughter and subsequently the grandchildren, she just told me how impactful that was. Because not only did he just do the thing in that lane, but he was somewhat of a Renaissance man. He was just interested in arts and just culture. And he talked about how Negro spirituals are important to pass on to Black people such as ourselves. So his story was amazing. And also her son, he's a photographer and he's doing things in his own lane too. So it's just beautiful to see that transgenerational type of thing going on.
Yeah, transgenerational. For her to be a judge, I'm sure there are some legacy points and things that she learns from her father that she instills into her professional life. Even today, I'm sure in that conversation with her, you learned a lot more about who she is as a person, both personally and professionally.
Absolutely. She talked about how she just leads with love and compassion and just with law abiding things as well too. But she just learned, and actually she went into law because of her father. She wrote a story, more so an article back in the day when she was in high school about how it was unfair that Black people couldn't get to certain positions in just their different fields because of racism and discrimination. And that inspired her to go into law to make changes so that people like her, that look like her, can do big things.
All right, so let's get to the money as we're getting to the paper. This is the money section of this week's edition where the Metro Detroit Black Business Alliance is celebrating its having an anniversary.
Yes, they just turned a year old, and it's big news. I was able to talk with Charity Dean, who we had the pleasure of seeing also at the Women of Excellence event. She some doing some great things there too. But yeah, she just talked about how her organization turned a year old just this past March, and they have over 400 members now, and they are just interested in expanding even bigger and doing better, even better things with just Detroit businesses, and they're trying to get into the suburbs and different areas too. So bring it all together for Black businesses and just how we can grow our network with each other and also others too.
Yeah, Charity Dean is doing a lot of great things and definitely has built that network of Black businesses to be able to, empower each other and take things to the next level with having that network and partnership that she has created. So I love that.
News, entertainment, our events, digital content. This is who we are. This is what we do. This is Michigan Chronicle. Follow us at MichiganChronicle.com.
All right, welcome back to News Now. This week we had a chance to catch up with Dr. Natasha Bagdasarian. She is the Chief Medical Executive with the state of Michigan, and we talked to her about the state of COVID-19, the recovery phase that we're in, but also the cause for concern as we move ahead to potential new surges and variants. Take a look. It seems as if we are seeing some improving signs when it comes to hospitalization numbers being down, the infection rate being down. But are we necessarily out of the woods when it comes to COVID-19 and the variants that may pop up?
Well, I'll start out by saying that, yes, our overall metrics are looking good. When we look at the new CDC metrics and the map of Michigan, the map is essentially green. We are in low risk in most areas of the state, and in fact, in most areas of the country, which I think is really promising news. But that does not mean that the pandemic is over, and it doesn't mean that we're completely out of the woods. We are what we're calling in a recovery phase. So we are recovering from this recent surge that we had. A lot of cases, a lot of people in the hospital with the Delta variant and then the original strain of the Omicron variant. And so we're recovering from that right now. And we have some protection overall throughout the state. And that's protection both from vaccines and from recent infection.
People seem to be wanting to get back to normal, get back to living life as usual. So what is the messaging right now from the state about vaccinations, about getting boosted?
Well, the pandemic isn't over, and we are expecting to see increases in cases in the future. Now, those could be with another variant of concern. It could be that we see increased cases with changing weather. So right now, things are looking very promising. Not only are cases down, but the weather's warming up, and we can start spending more time outdoors. But in the fall and in the winter, when the weather starts to cool down again and people start moving indoors, that's when we really need to be aware of the increased risk for transmission.
A very insightful conversation with her. You could check out more of our interview on our website at MichiganChronicle.com. Well, the Michigan Chronicle makes an effort to really profile and highlight the excellence of African-American women in our community. And we got a chance to do just that at our 15th annual Michigan Chronicle Women of Excellence Awards, which is available for you to watch on our website right now. But to recap the energy in the room and the magnificent women who receive such great honor and recognition, take a look.
For the past 15 years, our organization has honored more than 700 women, and you all make 750.
the work that you're doing. And you can be humble. Most black women are humble. You don't go around bragging about the work that you do. You just do it. But sometimes you got to tell people what you're doing so that we can share it with the world.
As a youngster growing up on the west side of Detroit, I know there's some west siders here. Never in my wildest dreams did I ever think I would become president and chief operating officer of a Fortune 300 company, much less the first woman and African American to do so. Nor did I think I would be standing here in front of you all tonight, deemed worthy of being named Woman of the Year.
One of my favorite scriptures is, before I formed you in the womb, I knew you. I ordained you. I set you apart. And oftentimes women ask me, what drives you? What's your ambition? And I truly believe that it's always been a very strong conviction of purpose. And I just want to encourage each and every one of the women here today to really continue to walk in your ordained, God-given purpose that I believe each and every one of us has.
They talk about the opportunity to be in the room where decisions are made. And that is a privilege, but you also have an obligation. I felt that obligation deeply, that if you're in that room, you need to speak up for somebody else.
In my 30 years, this is the first time I have ever been on a stage like this with royalty. I'm honored, I'm humbled, and we are all truly blessed. We are women of excellence. I see you, my sisters, and I want to be you when I get big. Thank you.
A lot of fun energy in the room. You can watch the full broadcast, by the way, of our Michigan Chronicle Women of Excellence, our 15th annual Women of Excellence and induction ceremony, available right now on our website, michiganchronicle.com/WOE 2022. You can also watch the full broadcast on our Facebook and YouTube as well at Michigan Chronicle. And that's all the time for us here. Thanks so much for watching this week's edition of News Now. I'll be back here next week, and you can get all the news you want anytime on our website at michiganchronicle.com, and follow us on social as well, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at Michigan Chronicle.